Fox Sports.
We are Blackhawks. We are Houston.
Live from Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas, the Astros open a 9-game homestand. It's the first of 3 with Houston meeting the Cincinnati Reds. As the tight NL Central race comes to Minute Maid Park, the Reds are a game and a half behind the St. Louis Cardinals. And good evening, everybody. Bill Brown and Jim Deshaies. The Astros refreshed after a day off. They have 2 new players in uniform tonight as well, J.D.
Anderson Hernandez, an infielder, joins the club. Nelson Figueroa adds depth to the bullpen. Big start tonight for Bud Norris. Really struggled last time out against the Pittsburgh Pirates, and he's up against it. The Cincinnati Reds ball club has a lot of firepower.
And the Reds have really had the Astros number this year.
Things have not gone well recently for the Astros against the Reds, and the trio of starting pitchers the Cincinnati ball club will feature this weekend is young and talented. Tonight's starter, 23-year-old Travis Wood, has allowed an opponent batting average of 130 through 4 career starts. Tomorrow, 24-year-old Johnny Cueto takes a 9-2 record and a 3.39 ERA to the mound. And then Sunday, Mike Leake, just 22 years of age, 7-1 record, will make his 3rd start against the Astros this season. The homestand begins next on Fox Sports Houston.
Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealer. Tonight's HD telecast is presented by your local Lincoln Mercury dealers in the 2010 MKS. Technologically breathtaking. Reach higher with the 2010 Lincoln MKS. Astros fans here to see the first of this 3-team homestand, and they brought their signs, and they are revved up and ready to go, having a little bite to eat, watching Bud Norris warm up, and here is the starting lineup for the Reds. Brandon Phillips at second base, Orlando Cabrera shortstop, Joey Votto first base, Johnny Gomes, the slugging left fielder, followed by Jay Bruce at Galveston in right field, or Beaumont rather, in right field. Miguel Cairo, third base. Drew Stubbs, center field. Ryan Hannigan, catcher. Travis Wood, pitcher.
Starting pitcher brought to you by Suzuki for the Astros tonight. 25-year-old right-hander Bud Norris takes the mound. This is his second look at the Cincinnati Reds since coming off the disabled list. It's been a mixed bag. Overall 0-2, 481 for a handful of starts. Last time out in Pittsburgh really struggled, but prior to that had been pitching well. You see with runners in scoring position, they really roughed him up. Defense for the Astros brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. Experience truly great engineering today at your authorized dealer. You see the defense, pretty much standard issue from recent games with the exception of Jason Bourgeois getting the start in center field in place of Michael Bourne.
Brandon Phillips, the first man up in this game. He was an all-star this year for the first time in his career. 288, 13 homers, 33 runs batted in. He's hit .407 against Houston. Showing bunt and taking that pitch. It's ball one for Bud Norris.
Right down the middle.
Sure was. Mike Winters is calling the pitches tonight. He must have thought it was high.
Look at Michael Mulligan.
Swing and a miss. That's a way to get strike one. And Phillips is third in the league in hits with 113. He leads the league with 70 runs scored.
Bud Norris, as has been the norm, usually comes out of that bullpen with his best fastball. Some guys it takes a while to get there, but Bud throwing 95 miles an hour right out of the chute. That one at 96. Phillips a pretty good fastball hitter, but he's been overmatched by those first two.
Last time out against the Pirates, Bud gave up 7 runs, 4 of them earned in 4 2/3 innings. They lost that game to Ross Ohlendorf at Pittsburgh. Phillips started the bat on the slider, and he was called for swinging by Mike Winters.
Brandon in no hurry to work his way back to the Reds dugout. And, let's see. And this is one that could have gone either way. As a hitter, you just wish that he'd gone to first base and asked for an appeal.
Winters called it. There's one out, and it's Cabrera now. And he slashes the fastball out of play. Strike one to a good defensive shortstop, hitting .255 with 3 homers. 35 runs batted in for Orlando. A very good acquisition on the free agent market after the first of the year for the Reds. Off the screen, and it's 0-2. When Norris faced the Reds here in Houston against Aaron Harang on the 27th of April, he lost that game 6-2. It's the only time he's faced them in his career. Gave up 5 runs in 5 innings.
But 0-4 with an ERA of 7.36 here at Minute Maid Park this year. So far, for the most part, the story of Bud Norris's career is lights out against the Cardinals and struggling against just about everybody else.
Jason Bourgeois in center. 2 outs.
He had a real good start in San Diego back on July 3rd, 7 shutout innings. Then he pitched against the Cardinals, gave up 5 runs in 7 2/3. That was 2 starts ago, and actually threw the ball quite well in that game. Gave up a 3-run home run to Matt Holliday. But other than that, was really, really good. So since coming off the disabled list, I've really been impressed with the way he's thrown the ball, except for last time out. Last time out, he just had a tough day. He struggled.
Joey Votto takes, and there's ball one to a strong MVP candidate. 305, 23 homers, 64 runs batted in. He leads the National League in both on-base percentage and slugging percentage. Tremendous year for Votto.
Best Canadian player since Larry Walker.
Yeah. He swings at that one, and it's a 1-ball, 1-strike count. He is 4th in the league in runs scored and just fits quite capably into this number 3 spot in the high-powered Reds lineup, which leads the National League in runs scored with 469. Fouls that one away. The Reds have lost their last 4 on the road, but still they played .500 ball away from home for the season. Joey tied with Adam Dunn, the former Red, for second place behind Prince Fielder for the home run lead in the National League. Upstairs, that makes it 2-2 for Bud Norris. Astros starting pitchers have a 2.43 ERA for the last 18 games. Red Myers really pitched a beauty on Wednesday at Chicago. 7 innings, 1 run. The Astros won it in the 12th.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful first inning for Bud Norris. 2 of them strikeouts of the 3 outs. And now the Astros come up against Travis Wood. Lance Berkman at first, Carlos Lee in left. Hunter Pence in right, Jeff Keppinger second base, Chris Johnson third base, Alberto Quintero catcher, Bud Norris pitcher.
Starting pitcher brought to you by Suzuki for the Cincinnati Reds is Travis Wood, making just his 5th Major League start, 2nd round pick. Back in 2005 out of Bryant High School in Alexander, Arkansas. And look at the numbers last year. 2 stops, AA, AAA, 2009, 13-5, 177. Set an ERA record with his time in the Southern League last year, AA club. This is a kid with a lot of potential. Fastball, good cutter, slider, straight changeup.
First time he's pitched against the Astros. His 5th Major League start begins with ball 1 to Jason Bourgeois. 250 for Jason, no homers and 1 RBI. He's had 32 at-bats with the Astros. This is his 8th start. Fly ball hits for the center fielder, Drew Stubbs. 1 out for Wood.
And defensively, the Cincinnati Reds shape up this way. Gomes, Stubbs, and Bruce cover the outfield. Big arm in right field for Jay Bruce. Infield of Cairo, Cabrera, Phillips, and Votto. Ryan Hannigan, solid defensively. He's behind the plate.
Angel Sanchez was sizzling on the Astros road trip of 6 games. He had 10 hits. He carries a 5-game hitting streak into this one. Wood spins a curve and Sanchez takes ball 1. 313 his average, no homers, 4 runs batted in for Angel. He was 10 for 26 for a 385 average on the road trip. Wood sneaks the fastball in to even the count at 1-1. Sanchez went 3 for 6 on Wednesday with an RBI. So the last 4 games, he's 9 for 19. Hannigan's a very good defensive catcher. Ball's right there at his target, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes for Sanchez.
Wood, not a real hard thrower, but he has good command of his fastball. Uses both sides of the plate, and he's got a real quick arm. I don't imagine he's pretty sneaky.
2-2. Well, it's certainly been impressive the way the Reds' young pitchers have come to the big leagues and shown so many abilities to compete and pitch really well. Mike Leake has done that. Wood has done that. We'll see Johnny Cueto tomorrow night. He's been around a little bit longer. He's having a good year. Up the middle and into center field. Sanchez takes his hitting streak to 6 games.
Now, obviously gaining in confidence. A real good approach at the plate. Primarily trying to hit the ball up the middle or the other way. If you make a mistake hanging with a breaking ball, that's the ball he'll turn on and drive. But it's a nice swing of the bat here. Sanchez getting this opportunity to play and really making the most of it.
He's aboard for Lance Berkman, who suffered through a 1-for-18 road trip. He's over his last 12. Coming up at 242 with 12 homers, 44 runs batted in. And he's hit only .211 against Cincinnati. He has dominated this club's pitching staff over the years of his career. Berkman looks at strike one. In fact, he has the best slugging percentage of any active player against the Reds. Second best on base average, and he leads in homers and runs batted in for a career against Cincinnati of anybody active right now. Brad Mills hoping he reverts to form tonight.
Some of that can be explained, of course, by the fact that Lance has been in the league a long time and the Reds are in our division. But the bottom line is he has worn this club out over the years.
.323 average, 49 homers, 137 runs batted in, 443 on base average, 691 slugging percentage.
In just about a full season's worth of games.
Wow.
An idea.
Be an MVP.
Yeah.
2-1. 190 for Lance as a right-handed batter, 11 hits and 58 at bats. He has 4 extra base hits against southpaws this season.
Through 4 starts, Travis Wood has allowed just 12 hits in 26 2/3 innings. Watch out, quick move.
Yeah.
He's a crafty lefty out there.
Reds have really put the clamps on the running game pretty well this season.
This kid took a perfect game into the 9th inning in his second major league start. Talk about precocious.
Yeah. 2-2. And that was against Roy Halladay.
His biggest mistake, the one flaw in Travis Wood, he just has terrible timing. Because every time he pitches, the Reds don't score. That's why he is still winless.
There was a 1-hit shutout for 9 in a game that went extra innings. Up the middle and into center field. Berkman advances Sanchez on a single. Got in on him a little bit, but he fought it off, and it's back-to-back singles for the Astros.
Wood likes to cut his fastball in on right-handers. That's what he's trying to do here. But Lance able to get enough of the barrel on it. Push it through that infield. Good hitting there. It looked like Lance was looking in there. You can see the way he opened up his front side a little bit.
Carlos Lee will try to advance the runners. 236, 12 homers. He's driven in 48. Strike one to El Caballo, who hit 182 on the road trip with 3 runs batted in. Leads the Astros in runs batted in with 48. Astros coming off a 3-3 road trip to Pittsburgh and Chicago. They are 1-5 against Cincinnati this year, 0-3 against the Reds here at Minute Maid Park. High ball center. Stubbs. Sanchez tagging. Sanchez heading for third. Stubbs is long throw to third. Just offline. 2 outs. Your league leaders is brought to you by your Texas Ford dealers. Since 1952, here are the lowest opponent averages allowed by a starting pitcher in his first 4 career starts. Bert Hooton at 083, number 1. Then it's Wayne Simpson, Matt Cain, Dennis Cook, and Travis Wood.
All those guys getting off a great start. Bert threw a no-hitter. I believe his 4th major league start.
It sounds right.
And 1952, because that's the first year they started tracking that kind of stuff, right? That's as far as they can go back.
Yes.
I think is the deal there.
That's right.
Because people went, that's kind of random. Why is it? What's 1952? What does that mean?
Yeah. Now Hunter Pence has a 2-out RBI situation here. Runners at first and third. And he lines one into center to make it 1-0 Houston. Wasting no time. He hit that sharp line drive over second base for RBI number 45.
Well, Jeff Bagwell makes the point time and again that he's not going to turn Hunter Pence into a guy who draws a lot of walks. The same with Carlos Lee. So he likes the aggressive approach. He just wants to make sure they're attacking pitches that they can handle. And Hunter jumped all over that first pitch fastball. It was down, but on the plate. Good start to the evening for Mr. Pence.
Jeff Bagwell's club with 3 hits already, and now it's Jeff Keppinger, the former Red, at 283. 4 homers, 34 runs batted in. Takes a close one, and it's ball 1 to Kep. Jeff has 11 hits in his last 8 games.
Too early to say, but it looks like it's going to be a hitter strike zone here tonight.
Two balls, no strikes. Wood has walked 9 in 26 innings coming into this game. Struck out 23. Great numbers for the young lefty from Arkansas. He was ranked the 7th best Reds prospect coming into this season by Baseball America. He was their minor league pitcher of the year in the Reds farm system last year.
Yeah, the Reds, for a number of years had a pretty good offensive club. Go back to Griffey, Adam Dunn, Austin Kearns, that group, John Casey. And now they're a pretty well balanced club. I mean, they run well. They hit a ton of home runs, lead the league in runs scored. The pitching is really starting to step up.
3-1 to Keppinger, who has that excellent .364 career average against Cincinnati. Dusty Baker's club was at home against Colorado and Washington, winning 4 and losing 3 on that homestand. This is a 6-game road trip. We'll go to Milwaukee next. Over the shortstop into left field and caught by Johnny Gomes. The Astros come out with 1 run on 3 hits. They strand 2. Got some good swings in the first to take a 1-0 lead.
As we move to the second, time now for Chevy at the Ballpark. We'd like to recognize Champion Chevrolet out on the Gulf Freeway for their support of the Sagemont Beverly Hills Little League. And for more information on Chevy's commitment to youth baseball programs, go to ChevyTexasBaseball.com. Brownie, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. 1-0 Astros after 1. Cardinals lost today at Chicago 5-0 as Randy Wells beat Jeff Suppan. So the Cardinals picked up their 43rd loss. That means the Reds pulled it within 1 game of first place. Johnny Gomes leads it off. Hits it in the air to right field. Hunter Pence waiting. So 1 pitch first out for Bud Norris.
And Bud off to a great start. A couple of punch outs there in the first inning. Fastball 95 to 97 miles an hour. And when you've got that kind of life on your heater, you're going to rely heavily on it, especially first time around the order. It's a good matchup here because Bruce certainly turned that around.
Jay, 23 years old, from Beaumont. He's had some outstanding games against the Astros. He takes that pitch low for ball one. 261 for Bruce, 10 homers, 37 runs batted in. Fouls it off for a 1-ball, 1-strike count. Bruce has a hit and 2 walks in his 3 plate appearances against Bud Norris.
He's establishing that fastball early. We're going to try a little change. Good idea, poor execution. But, probably not so much this stage of the game because it's their first look at it. But next time around the order, probably going to have to find a little consistency with the secondary pitch. Jackson brings us the pitch tracker each and every night. There it is. Come back with that changeup one more time. Well done. Nice job making the adjustment. First one got away from him. And just like in golf on the first tee, you make that adjustment, you take the mulligan, and boom, you hit it right down the middle.
Yeah, right.
The second guy always much better than the first guy.
Always, without exception. Brad Mills, when asked about Bud Norris's changeup and how important it was to him, very important, he said. Everything else he throws is hard. And now it's 3-2. Bruce has walked 37 times. He batted third in the order yesterday for the first time all year. And he strikes out this time. Number 3 for Norris. Norris very high on the strikeout ratio of strikeouts per 9 innings pitched.
Yeah, statistically, it's a weird line for Bud. He's got an ERA up over 6. But he's got all the punch outs, so obviously the stuff is there. It's just a matter of harnessing it and finding the consistency.
Miguel Cairo's filled in exceptionally well for Scott Rowland at third base. Rowland's out with a hamstring injury. There's ball 1 to Cairo. 302, 3 homers, 17 runs batted in. Good glove man. He's just been on a lot of good clubs. As somebody who can do a lot of different things over the years. Wildly not getting a whole lot of attention. Now 36 years old. He played for the Phillies last year. 1-ball, 1-strike. Native of Venezuela. Career 266 hitter. Had a big series at Cincinnati against the Astros in May. And that's a fair ball up the right field line. Cairo, as the ball is interfered with by a fan, will go to second. Let's see what happens to him now. Maybe he has to move to another area.
Probably not going to end well for him.
No, he did get the baseball. But he's going to lose his seat.
Yeah, they make that announcement before every game. Ball in play, leaving us easy. She's telling him, no, let it go. If you're gonna make the play, you got to come up throwing. You got to take a shot at Cairo and try to throw him out. I mean, I don't know what kind of arm he's got, but if he's playing right field, he's probably got a pretty good arm.
Well, we'll see how his legs are because that's what he's using at the moment. Leave his seat. As Drew Stubbs is the batter. 245 for Drew, 13 homers, 48 runs batted in.
There was an article in the Chronicle today about where to go, where to sit to get a foul ball. Souvenir, a home run during BP, the profit boxes, 56% of the souvenirs or something like that. They had somebody actually broke it down.
They actually did. It's amazing, isn't it? Roller out to shortstop. Sanchez gets it over to Berkman. And Stubbs is retired. No runs, a hit. A runner stranded at second base. 1-0 Astros. With a loss today is now 1 game in front of Cincinnati. 1 ahead in the loss column also. Chicago and Milwaukee trail by 10. Houston is 14 back. And Pittsburgh is 19 games in arrears of the front-running Cardinals.
That standing sheet right there, that helps to explain that story in the Chronicle about the foul balls.
Oh?
The souvenir. Yeah, there's just, if you're in a pennant race, that off-day story in the paper is usually a little bit different.
Oh, okay, yeah, exactly. You learn things, though, even though you come to the ballpark every night. I didn't know they gave out a gift card to Landry's Restaurants to anybody who catches a home run ball out in the Landry's Crawford boxes. Did you?
I did not.
It's a little certificate that they caught it, authenticating it. Chris Johnson, 307, 2 homers, 15 runs batted in. Has put together a 6-game hitting streak, so that's a good seating area for a lot of reasons, including batting practice home runs. It's ball 1 to Johnson. Johnson pulled out the home run bat on this road trip, and he hit .391 with 2 homers, 7 runs batted in, going 9 for 23 in the 6 games. 1 ball, 1 strike. Wood has been involved in back-to-back 1-0 games. That perfect game JD talked about through 8 at Philadelphia, and you saw the numbers on it. 9 innings, 1 hit, no runs. They lost that one 1-0 in 11, and they lost their last game that he pitched 1-0. He gave up 1 run in 6 innings. So still looking for his first big league win, despite posting 4 really good major league starts with a 2.03 ERA.
Yeah, and that's always the fear. That's always in the back of your mind as a starting pitcher. When you're on a roll and you're really pitching well and you're not winning, you know that roll is likely going to end at some point. And you're going to get into a little bit of a funk where you're not throwing as well. It's nice to have those W's in the bank.
First strikeout for Wood comes on Johnson, with Quintero coming up next.
In terms of stature, he's very similar to the guy who's going to pitch here Sunday, young Mike Leake. Leake, the right-hander, similar build. Leake's relies more on movement. Woods, I think he's got a little bit more velocity on his fastball.
Roberto Quintero, 234, 3 homers, 11 runs batted in. Gets the call against the left-hander Wood tonight. Jason Castro should be in the starting lineup probably tomorrow night, we think. And there's ball 1. But against the lefty, Brad Mills was asked about it. He said, well, I just decided to go with Q tonight. And he's caught Bud some. And he said, I also decided to go back to the Berkman Lee Pence 3-4-5. They'll probably change that tomorrow night against the lefty. And Carlos hitting 4th against Wood. 2 balls, no strikes. A bit different look than what the Astros have been featuring the last few games.
So far, and it's just 4 big league starts. Neither right nor left-handed batters have been able to figure this guy out. Lefty's hitting 154 against him. Right-handed hitters $1.27. Talking with Baggy during BP, he was watching video of Wood earlier today, and Cueto and Leake coming. He goes, "We're in for it this weekend. We're going to have a really battle."
3-1. Good young arms. Of course, they have Aaron Harang on the disabled list right now. Homer Bailey also is on the DL for the Reds. So they're missing some components. Foul back. Much media speculation continues surrounding Roy Oswalt. He was surrounded by the media at his locker today. And, so, well, his agent from time to time does brief him, and he's not sure where things stand regarding how much longer he'll be wearing that uniform, but he's scheduled to wear it tomorrow night against Cincinnati. Johnny Cueto right here with a 6:05 start time. Roy 23-2 against the Reds.
Yeah, a lot of speculation in the national media about Roy and his contract, and some stories saying that he won't accept the trade unless that option year is picked up by the club that acquires him. And ultimately, that's not the agent's decision. That's Roy's decision.
Good point. Quintero to left field. Gomes. 2 outs.
Well, tomorrow night is a big night at the ballpark because it's throwback night. 6:05 game. The Astros will wear the shoulder rainbow uniforms. And outfield and view deck 2 tickets will be especially priced at only $5. First 10,000 fans will receive a throwback jersey T-shirt. That's courtesy of ABC Pest Pool and Lawn. And you can get your tickets at Astros.com.
You can just picture JD wearing the uniform. Bud Norris.
Get my hands on one of those.
Yeah. Ball 1 to Bud. He has 2 hits, 20 at bats for a 100 average and 1 RBI. It's going to be an interesting 9 days or so leading up to the trade deadline, especially around here. Well, it's down to 8 days now. 1 ball and 1 strike. All kinds of rumors, and Roy Oswald said he had seen many of them on television, which were not true. Bud's parents are here from California. Dave and Susie. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Bud can handle the bat.
His sister there in between his parents. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Good athlete. Quick feet, good pickoff move. Feels the position pretty well. Runs. Fly ball. Stubbs waiting. And Wood has a 1-2-3 second. 1-0 Houston. Enjoyable over the years to watch Cincinnati play Houston. A lot of great games. Good rivalry. Top of the 3rd inning finds the Astros leading 1-0. Dusty Baker's club. Very favorable position. Here on the 23rd of July. Spending a lot of days in first place this year. But can they hold off the St. Louis Cardinals? Anybody else who might declare itself a contender later on? It would seem to be a 2-team race, but still a little early to make that conclusion, JD.
Reds have not been in the postseason since 1995. Baker always with the wristbands and the toothpick. Working on a little Sudoku there in the dugout in between innings.
Ryan Hannigan, 316, 2 homers, 17 runs batted in. Excellent numbers as far as on-base average and slugging percentage.
There's another ball right down the middle.
That did look good. Mike Winter said ball 1.
He's a bad first pitch of the inning umpire.
Is that what it is?
After that, he's great. Yeah, he just takes a while. Look at that.
Slow starter.
It's right in the Paul Lynn square. Boom.
He's been known for a rather small strike zone, hasn't he, over the years?
No. When I was a pitcher, I was more aware of that than now.
Well, it was different back in those days.
Well, it mattered more.
Yeah, but that was before Quest Tech, which is now in the past, and we have something else. It's more back in the individual strike zone era. What do we have now, anyway?
I don't know what the current technology is that the MLB is using. However, we're using Fox Track, brought to you by Jex Energy.
That's true. There's a good-looking shirt.
It looks like a Nat Nash shirt, Brownie.
Oh, it does. He is styling.
And there's a good-looking man right there.
Yeah.
That guy.
He's got the JD look going.
That is quality work. I'm trying to clear it.
There have been a lot of lookalikes. You've started a lot of trends around town. You're strikeout number 4 for Bud Norris. That blue shirt is very fashionable as well.
It reminds me of that commercial. I thought he was their best guy at presentation. Good morning. But I digress.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
We're digressing. Getting in this whole fashion thing.
We do a lot of digressing. Travis Wood with strike 1. He has 2 hits and 10 at-bats. That's not digressing. That's right on point, JD.
He's a hard ball player from Arkansas. These guys, they can do it all there.
Smart. He throws left and bats right.
What that right there tells you he's a good athlete.
0-2 to Travis Wood. And he chases it and strikes out. That's a good 0-2 pitch. Nice spot to get that strikeout. 5 strikeouts for him.
It's beginning to look like those starts he's had against the Cardinals. High octane fastball and a good slider to complement it. See if he can keep it rolling here as the lineup turns over and these hitters get a second look at him.
Brandon Phillips struck out opening the game. Phillips was a 20-20 man last year. 20 homers, 25 steals. He's commonly done that. That's the 3rd year in a row. Out towards center field. Jason Bourgeois got a jump. In the 3rd, the Reds go quietly, and it's 1-0 Houston.
Stephanie Norris, Bud's sister, and Susie Norris, Bud's mom. Welcome to Houston.
Thank you.
Are you enjoying the game so far? I guess so.
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Now, is it nerve-wracking for you guys every time Bud pitches?
No, not always.
You're beyond that now.
We trust he knows what he can do, and he's done it.
Now, it must be said that Bud's dad, Dave, was sitting in this chair, but he got up to go to the bathroom, so I snuck right in to do the progressive fan of the game. So you're in from San Francisco?
Sacramento for myself.
Sacramento?
Yes.
It's a long trip to watch Bud pitch.
It is.
Does he appreciate that?
Of course, as always.
Yeah, he better, right?
Exactly, yeah.
See, I know sisters. Well, for coming all this way, you are the progressive fans of the game. I know you don't have enough Astros souvenirs, so I'm going to give you some more. Guys, back to you.
Thank you, Bart. Always good to have them here.
Got a celebrity look-alike for it. It's maybe a bit of a reach.
What's that?
Bud's sister. A little bit like Annette O'Toole.
Okay.
Played Robbie Benson's love interest in the movie One-on-One.
You lost me.
Basketball movie. He goes to Western University.
You see that one, but yeah, surely a lot of people did. One ball, one strike. Examining that gift. You've connected with a lot of folks out there, JD.
I bet you you've seen it. I bet you if you heard it come across, oh yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, that's true. 1-2 to Jason Bourgeois. Jason's really had a nice aggressive approach. That's what the manager likes about him. Stole a base against Ted Lilly the other day in Chicago. This time, Wood gets a strikeout, number 2.
One of the things we heard about Travis Wood is that he's got a pretty good feel for pitching. And he goes change up for a swing and a miss. And then once he's got the hitter's bat slowed down a little bit because he's planting that seed in his mind, he goes with the high heater. Goes right by him.
Second strikeout for him. Now Sanchez, who got things started in the first inning with a sharp single into center. Hannigan really sets a nice target. There's strike 1. Look at the difference between the Reds and Cardinals. It's certainly not much in wins and losses right now. Reds have a better offensive team. They lead the league in runs scored. But the Cardinals have pitched much better than Cincinnati. The Reds have only the 11th best ERA in the league, 4.17. And yet this young talent with the promise to push that down.
Well, and it has pushed it down. In the month of July, the Reds have the third best ERA in the league. They're only a 500 club for the month, but their pitching has been very good. And that's kind of the big question mark over this club now. Can they sustain it from this point forward? Because they're right there with the Cardinals, kind of ping-ponging back and forth between first and second, these two clubs. And that's why everybody in Cincinnati is probably a little bit nervous when they start to hear the Roy Oswalt to the Cardinals rumors.
Right. There's a strikeout for Wood, his third. So that would be the next question. If Oswalt went to the Cardinals and the Reds did not obtain a starting pitcher, would that swing the balance of power?
Well, it would certainly help the Cardinals' cause, that's for sure. But I don't know that the Reds could counter that move by picking up a pitcher because they have a lot of pitching as it is.
Now, the story was that they were interested in Cliff Lee. Of course, he went to Texas. Lance Berkman singled to center field to get Sanchez to second in the first inning. And we don't know whether Roy, of course, would approve a deal to Cincinnati. And that is certainly the big contingency here when things come down to cases. He does not have to approve it. He's staying right here.
If I'm Roy, I don't want to pitch for the Reds because I want the opportunity to beat their brains in like he's done his entire career. I mean, if he goes plays for him, he's 23-2 against that club in his career.
That's right. Berkman fouls it back. Well, according to reports, and as Roy has said to the media, many are erroneous out there. But according to reports, if he went to the Phillies, his agent has asked for a 1-year contract extension or his option to be picked up beyond next year. That's been reported. But not so if he went to the Cardinals, that he would work to restructure or whatever they wanted to talk about. So it sounds as if he's very much pro St. Louis compared to some of the other teams. And there's his season, a very good ERA, and the numbers that he's put together are the best he's had in years.
Yeah, then you get into the whole deal with the Astros, who are willing to trade him within the division and to the Cardinals, a team that they've been rivals with over the years. And I guess the question is, it just depends on what you get in return.
Bouncer, and Wood is there to flag it down. Turn it into out number 3. After 3, Astros 1, Reds nothing. The MD Anderson Cancer Center, making cancer history. July 23rd, 1994, Jeff Bagwell goes 4 for 4, including his 30th home run and an 11-0 blanking of the Pirates. Shane Reynolds pitched a 4-hit shot.
Aggies MVP year, strike shortened year, and he was putting up monster numbers. Of course, he got hurt that year, too. We ended up hitting 365, something like that.
Yeah, 368, I believe. Terrific year, and it would have been interesting to see, had he not been injured, what would have happened. And also, what about if there had not been a work stoppage? Then who wins the MVP? Because he misses the last 6 weeks of the season.
And Matt Williams was on a pace to break Roger Maris's home run record that year.
Orlando Cabrera takes strike one.
It was the first of many. That became a habit.
Yeah. Cabrera hit a fly ball to center field in the first. Bud Norris has a 1-0 lead. He's given up one hit to Miguel Cairo, a double. Nice action on that pitch, and he really kept it down. 0-2.
So we talked about second time through the order. He's able to start implementing the off-speed pitch.
A slider, a tap. Barehanded Johnson throwing wide of Berkman, and here into second base without a play is Cabrera. It's ruled a hit and an error on Johnson. Johnson's 7th error of the year. Cabrera has the single.
He does a nice job handling this ball with a bare hand, and then I'm guessing just didn't get a good grip on that throw. Had to hurry the throw.
Hustling, quick left turn, and headed for second base. Now Joey Votto bats with a runner at second, nobody out. Votto struck out looking earlier. There's ball 1 to him. There's a vast difference in these two clubs defensively. That's the Astros' 67th error of the year. They've allowed 54 unearned runs. The Reds have made 39 errors, and they've allowed 15 unearned runs. 2-0 to Votto. Reds have not scored a run in 40 1/3 innings on the road. They've lost 4 straight on the road. Votto looks at ball 3 with Johnny Gomes on deck. Votto was named to his first All-Star team. He got over 13 million votes in the All-Star Game final vote. Got a day off yesterday. Big cut there on 3-0. He unleashed it. Didn't come close. He's hit 182 since the All-Star break. 4 for 22.
Sitting on a fastball. That gives you an idea of how good Bud's fastball is. He's sitting on one and still well behind it.
Votto takes, and it's ball 4.
Wow.
First walk for Norris.
Bud, to his credit, not really having anything to say to Mike Winters after these calls, but there's been 3 or 4 that not the kind of pitches where you go, man, that could have gone either way. I mean, there are 3 or 4 that appear to be right there.
AT&T has trivia for us tonight as Johnny Gomes steps up. Here's the question. How many complete games and shutouts did Shane Reynolds pitch? Well, I don't think we're talking about a big number here. Shane had a lot of quality games, but he didn't complete too many.
Well, nobody does. Nobody in this era, except for Roy Halladay.
I'll say 4. It's ball 1 to Johnny Gomes.
I'll go with 10 complete games. And yeah, I like 4 for the shutout number.
Yeah, you're right. Should have been more complete games than shutouts. But actually, Shane got better later in his career at going deeper into games as pitchers learn their craft. They can do that sometimes. Knowing what the Astros wanted him to do after conversations with Larry Dierker, he did lengthen those starts and stayed in games longer. 2 balls, no strikes.
So for the first time tonight, Bud under a little bit of pressure here after the single error and then walk to Votto. Gomes a big part of the story for the Reds this year. Dangerous hitter.
3 balls, no strikes. Also, you know, you can put Roy in that classification too, JD. A lot of times he'll have a lead after 7, 8 innings. 6-0, 7-0. He's not really all that attuned to complete game shutouts. I think a lot of pitchers are more about saving their arm maybe for the next start. Not the way it used to be back in the 50s or 60s when a complete game shutout was a lot bigger deal.
Well, and even from the 80s and 90s. I mean, it's been a kind of an evolution of how pitchers are used.
Ran in. It's called ball 4. Now the bases are loaded with nobody out. And Jay Bruce is coming up after we see the AT&T trivia answer.
"20 complete games. We sold them short there.
Yeah,
big
we did.
time.
In shutouts, he had 7. Yep.
But, you know, and we had this conversation. We've had a lot lately with Roy on the verge of tying Joe Niekro. We talk a lot about the top pitchers in Astros history. And Shane kind of flies beneath the radar a little bit. You look at his numbers. He had a nice career here.
He did.
The top 10 in many of the categories. Well, we in that scouting report on Bud Norris at the start of the ballgame, we pointed out that with runners in scoring position, opposing hitters are hitting .393 or something like that against him. It's the highest mark in all of Major League Baseball. So he's been, he's struggled in situations such as this. He's had some innings get away from him, and a lot of times it's not his fault initially. Maybe an error, gets squeezed a little bit. But this is how you win and lose games right here. How do you navigate these choppy seas?
Jay Bruce looks at ball 1. He struck out on a 3-2 count.
And the temptation here, as you're getting squeezed by the home plate umpire, is to get frustrated and just throw one right down the channel. That could end up in the second deck, so you got to be careful.
Now 2-0 to Bruce. Cairo's on deck. Norris takes a walk. Norris winless at home in 6 starts, 0-4 with a 7.36 ERA. Now 3-0 to Bruce. Reds have Cabrera at third, Votto's at second, and Gomes at first with nobody out. Strike.
That's the count. That's the old 3-0 Leo. Call the count.
There have been far better pitches than that. Called balls tonight. Third time through the order, 355.
I'm not going to quibble with any strike call. You got it right.
Fly ball left field. Carlos Lee with the runners tagging. Makes the catch. And the throw goes into third. And everybody moves up as it's a 1-1 game. Bruce with the sac fly for his 38th run batted in. Scoring Cabrera. Votto second to third. Gomes first to second on the fly ball.
You give up a run there, but could have been a lot worse once you fell behind in the count. That one might be worth appealing down there at second base.
Doesn't cost anything.
No. That's good heads-up base running by Votto to be able to tag and go second and third there. And if Carlos had to do it all over again, he probably would have thrown that ball into second base. And they are going to appeal.
Yep.
Keppinger. Step off.
No, he didn't leave too soon, in the opinion of Jerry Lane. Still worth a try. Now Mark Perry, the third base coach, comes over, talks to Votto. Cairo double just inside the first base line in the second inning. 0-1 to Cairo. The Reds have come from behind in 53% of their wins this year. That's tops in the league. The Astros a shade behind. They've done it in 51% of their wins. That's a strike.
I'm not sure that appeal was executed properly.
Well, let's see.
I think he's got to come set and then step off.
That's true.
I don't know that he ever did.
Was time called, or was the ball in play the whole time?
Maybe that was the case.
I think the ball was still in play. Okay. So then he would not have had to be contested. But you're right. Procedures have to be followed.
Yes, very.
If you don't follow procedures, then the appeal doesn't count. 1-2. Two Stubbs on deck as Cairo bats. Fireworks after the game coming up. Good Friday night crowd, hoping Bud Norris can get out of trouble here. Now they hit him to load the bases. Cairo hit with a 1-2 pitch.
That's when you want to yell at the hitter. Get out of the way, man.
Yeah.
You got you down in the count. You're just trying to run one in. And set my slider up for that 2-2 pitch. Hangs in there. You see it up and in the playing. And anytime Bud tries to go inside on a right-handed hitter, the ball's got a lot of run. It's 97 miles an hour for you. Oh, man. Let's see that one up here.
Willie Hatcher, former Astro, welcome Custom. Now with the bases loaded, it's Drew Stubbs.
Hatch with a mix of empathy and laughter on his face there at Cairo. Feel for you, man, but I'm glad it's you and not me. We talked about dangerous hitters. Here's another one. Not hitting for a high average this year, but he's got legitimate pop.
Tap a shortstop. Sanchez comes home for the first play there. Ball slowly hit. And that was the proper play. That was not a double play ball. 2 outs.
No, good decision making there by Sanchez. Others may have tried to turn two, but that wouldn't have worked out too well. He's come hard. He's got the play right in front of him. Well done.
Yeah, and if you try to turn two, you're turning around behind you to throw to second. That's a difficult play. No chance for Quintero to get the out at first for a double play. Now it's Ryan Hannigan. Hannigan looks at ball one. Ramon Hernandez, who is the catcher most of the time, just returned from the disabled list tonight. He probably will start tomorrow night, we were told. Hannigan's 2 for 9 with the bases loaded. Hannigan, an undrafted free agent when he signed in 2002 with the Reds. That's quite a pickup. A guy who turned 30 in mid-August this year, and last year he led all catchers in fielding percentage. Not that that would tell you everything you'd want to know about him, but he is viewed as a good receiver.
He was having a real nice year when we last saw him. I think he got hurt. He's only played in 34 ball games this year.
Right there on the corner. Good fastball for a 1-2 count.
And he's one pitch away from getting out of this, having allowed just the 1 run. Bases loaded, nobody out situation. We talked about the pitcher having to navigate the choppy seas, and so far he's doing a real nice job, but he's not out of it yet.
Hannigan hit a grand slam against the Cubs back in May. That is up, and it's 2-2.
Uh-oh.
See a little reaction there?
Fingers bothering him.
Okay.
Blister working or something. Got to make sure you're right before you make the next pitch.
Hannigan had a 3 RBI game against the Astros here back in April. Out of the way. Look right down at that finger. And that would indicate a problem. Ryan Moeller had a session before the game on that mound. as well as Jeff Fulcino, simulated games today for two of those pitchers who were on the disabled list.
Good try. Coming off the disabled list on his rehab assignment, he worked on throwing his changeup to right-handed hitters. And felt very good about that after the start against the Padres. And drift a little bit off the plate inside.
3-2, bases loaded, 2 outs. Time call by Hannigan. Phillies are shutting out Colorado 5-0 after 6. They got 5 in the 5th. Halladay pitching. Ground ball in the hole. It's short and on through into left field. That'll score a couple. It sneaked under Sanchez's glove and went for a 2-run single to make it 3-1 Reds. Hannigan just hit it in a good spot for him and the Reds.
Well, that ball should have been gloved at least by Sanchez, keeping it in the infield. But right between the wickets of Miguel Cairo. Check it out. Little chopper, and it goes right between the legs of Cairo. And perhaps providing a bit of a screen there for Sanchez, but you got to glove that one. You can't let that one go through. I mean, if you have to belly flop on it, go ahead. Because staying upright, you're probably not going to be able to make a play anyway. At least knock it down.
I believe you're right. He may have been unable to see that ball because of the base runner. Now butted by Wood, and in the air, popped up to Quintero. In the 4th, the Reds grab the lead with 3 runs on 2 hits, 1 error. They leave a couple to make it 3-1 Cincinnati. Top of the 4th inning, and now with Wood looking for his first major league win. He got some run support. Lately, the Reds have not been scoring as much, and part of that due, they say, to the fact that Scott Rowland, who's having an excellent year, has not been in the lineup for the last 6 games. JD.
And they hope to have him back for this weekend series, but not in there tonight. And I'm talking to Scott briefly during BP, and he just said, "Now I've got to get back on the field and do some baseball-related activities before I'm ready to go." So I'm not so sure that they know exactly when Scott's going to be back. So they're essentially playing a man short. He's been out there, let's say, about a week now. And you don't want to use him as a pinch hitter, because if you ultimately decide to disable him, you can backdate him now. But if you play him, then that clock starts all over again. That calendar clock would be too small.
Carlos Lee leads it off in the home 4th. He hit a fly ball to center field. Each club has 3 hits. Ball Ball one for Travis Wood. The Reds have pitched very well against the Astros this year, in winning 5 of 6 with a 2.95 ERA. Val homered Houston 11-3. Now it's 2 balls, no strikes, and going back to the beginning of the 09 season, the Reds are 17-5 against the Astros. Only one team has a better record against an opponent in that amount of time. And that's the Phillies, who are 19-5 against the Nationals.
Globetrotters are really good against the Generals. They probably have the best mark.
They might be better.
And this snuck up on me because we used to always beat the Astros. It's always beat the Reds. And you look at the numbers the last couple of years, it's completely reversed.
Yep. Well, the Oswalt and Berkman mastery of the Reds. That's been a lethal 1-2 punch for Houston. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes. Carlos lead. Yankees are leading Kansas City 4-0 after 4.5 at Yankee Stadium. They've been in a rain delay for a while there. Fly ball to right. Jay Bruce. 1 out for Wood.
Well, not tomorrow night, but next Saturday. That's the 31st. Mark that on your calendar. Brewers are in town. 6:05 game. First 10,000 fans will receive a bobblehead of Jeff Bagwell. That's courtesy of AT&T. And then after the game, it's a faithful family night. There'll be a concert with jars of clay. I was looking at it. It's supposed to provide testimony, too, for that deal. Astros.com for tickets.
Hunter Pence hit a low fastball for an RBI single in the first. That made it 1-0 Houston. Hunter lets the high one go, and it's ball 1. Hunter's a .296 career hitter against Reds pitching. Over the last few years, Reds pitching has been the problem area for the Cincinnati organization.
So you could see somebody in Cincinnati coming up with a clever nickname if they get Aaron Harang back healthy. And if they had a rotation with Harang and then Arroyo and Leake and Wood, so you got this big giant of a guy.
Yeah.
And then these other guys are all a little bit on the smallish side. I don't have one. I just somebody clever could come up with one.
Oh, you're clever. Well, we'll give you a little time because Harang's not close to coming back, is he?
I don't know. I don't believe so.
So when he gets back, you'll have it ready to go by then. Last year, the Reds were 78-84. They have made a nice improvement to this point. Shot into left field. Hunter Pence is 2 for 2.
There you go, Brownie. You predicted he was going to get hot.
It just took a few days. He's hot in this game anyway.
Picked on a low fastball last time, up this time. Again, it looks like he's trying to cut it in there on him a little bit. Hunter's just too quick, not going to let him in. Nope. No soup for you. I'm going to turn that around.
Jeff Keppinger hit a fly ball to left in the first inning. And he was ahead in that count 3-1 with a couple of men on base, too. As you talked about Bud Norris's challenge in the last inning, that was the case also with Wood. That first inning could have really blown up on him, but he was able to get Keppinger on 3-1 to end that threat with only 1 run scoring. Baltimore leads Minnesota 3-2. They're in the bottom of the 8th at Baltimore.
Yeah, and that's fairly typical of most games. You know, we've seen a lot of great pitching performances around baseball this year. Perfect games, no hitters, 1-0 type games. But generally, in the course of the game, there's 2 or 3 critical situations where pitcher's on the ropes a little bit. He's got a couple guys on him, and ultimately that's what tells the story of the game. How does he get out? Does he make the big pitch? Does he get lucky and somebody line into a double play, or does someone knock one off the wall or give it up on the train tracks?
Pitcher looks at it. It's 1-2.
Can you make the big pitch when you need to?
Yeah. Absolutely. Clevenger was with the Reds in 07 and 08. Line drive, right field line, in for a hit. Jay Bruce over to play it. Hunter Pence races first to third, and a sharp single by Clevenger. Good two-strike hitting by the Astros second baseman.
An opportunity for the Astros to answer now here in the bottom half of the fourth. RBI opportunity for Chris Johnson. Well, they were trying to come in on him. That's where Hannigan wanted the pitch, but he left it out. Outer third. Clevenger just rides it to right field. Take extra bases on Jay Bruce. At your peril. He has got a cannon.
Really does. Stubbs is a good outfielder. Gomes would be the one who is weaker defensively, but he has not hurt the Reds this year. Johnson struck out in the second inning. He definitely wants contact here with men on first and third, one out. That's ball one. So a little movement there by Hannigan to catch that pitch. Pence gives a hitter a good sac fly capability there at third, the way he runs.
Yeah, this situation here where you're going to be aggressive too on a fly ball. Get down towards the bottom of the batting order.
Check the swing, and it's 2-0.
I mean, you're not going to be reckless out there and scoring a real shallow fly ball, but any medium depth fly ball. Like Pence with his speed and the fact that you got the 8-hole hitter coming up next. The situation calls for aggressiveness.
Popped up. Phillips is out. Bruce is in. Phillips makes the catch. Here's Pence tagging and coming. And the throw to the plate is not in time. Tremendous base running by Hunter Pence. Jay Bruce could have caught that ball.
Well, that was the whole key to that play. That was bad baseball by the Reds. When Bruce catches that ball, Hunter Pence doesn't even try to score. That's just bad baseball. And Bruce was there. You've got it. If Phillips backpedaling as he catches that ball, Bruce would have had all his momentum coming forward. Has a much better arm. Great base running, but a bad play by the Reds in the outfield. Well, we just got done talking about it. Pence gives you a good chance on a sac fly, but we didn't think it would be a sac fly to the second baseman.
Did you see Dave Clark flexing at the knees on that replay? Good shot.
He's invested.
Quintero the batter now, and it's 3-2. Taking strike one. So a sac fly to second base for Johnson's 16th run batted in.
You can just see, Phillips back on his heels, has to get that weight shifted back to load up to make the throw. They almost got him, so clearly if Bruce catches that ball, if Hunter tries it, he's out unless airmails the throw or one-hops his catcher. I got to believe Hunter doesn't even try it if Bruce catches the ball.
Here's a question for you. Infielder is taught to keep going until he's called off by the outfielder, correct?
Correct.
So Jay Bruce, apparently if he was calling, Phillips didn't hear him or ignored him.
Well, and even with his body language, it looked to me like Bruce was willing to let Phillips handle that ball.
Yeah.
I think Jay's got to come in and just run him off.
Yeah, he was not aggressively pursuing it. 1 ball, 2 strikes. And Dave Clark was talking before the game about the very good arms in the Cincinnati outfield, and he specifically mentioned Jay Bruce and what a good arm he has.
And it may very well be that Dave Clark told Hunter, if Phillips catches it, you're going.
Yeah.
Bruce catches it, stay here.
Quite possible. He goes over to first on Clevenger. 1-2 count, 2 outs in the inning. The number 8 hitter at the plate. Yeah, he might be going here. Just because you're down to cases, and if he gets thrown out, catcher leads off the next inning. He's not going, and it's popped up. Votto over, and in the fourth, Hunter Pence steals a run on a sacrifice fly, caught by the second baseman. 1 run, 2 hits, 1 left, and it's 3-2 Cincinnati. Houston Astros baseball on Fox Sports Houston is brought to you by AT&T, by your Texas Ford dealers, by the other guys in theaters August 6th, and by Gullo Ford and Gullo Toyota. Got to see that other guy. That looks like a hilarious movie. Meanwhile, it's a Friday night. People have worked hard all week. They have a right to their entertainment and enjoyment, and it's be having plenty of that tonight.
Well, you're here in the air-conditioned comforts of Minute Maid Park. You're watching a big league ball game. You got some fireworks coming afterwards. Can't get much better than that.
Like Bud Norris is having a hand problem. One of his fingers in the last inning, but he's back out here now facing Brandon Phillips in the 5th. Phillips 0 for 2. Pops him up. Jeff Keppinger. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll help Norris.
They worked awfully hard there in the 4th, so he could use a quick inning. It's been a big problem for him is the pitch count. Last time up around 100 pitches, and he worked 4 2/3 innings. Not an issue tonight. 3 up, 3 down in the 1st. Likewise in the 3rd, faced just 4 batters in the 2nd inning. So really the last inning, the only time he had to work extra hard.
Orlando Cabrera, 35-year-old veteran. Takes strike 1. Cabrera has been hitting second most of the year. At one point, he led the team in runs batted in with 13. As Steve Baker said, he is an RBI man. It's banged out to center field. Jason Bourgeois handles out number 2.
The profile of a power pitcher, a lot of strikeouts, a lot of outs in the air, and that's typically the case with Bud, and that's what's going on tonight.
Joey Votto was struck out looking, and he's walked. Joey, 26 years old, 2nd round pick of the Reds in 02. They've had some good draft choices. That's strike 1. Owner Bob Castellini said to be very anxious to go back to the playoffs. As you mentioned, it's been a while. They went down to the wire with the Astros in '99 before the Astros won out.
That's the year they played the Mets.
Yeah.
In the 1-game playoff for the wild card.
That was it. The Mets beat them there. So their last playoff appearance, '95. Bud Norris has had 5 1-pitch at-bats. Shot to right field. A line drive homer. And Votto connects for the 24th time this season to make it 4-2 Cincinnati.
Wow, talk about turning on a pitch. And Joey Votto, typically we think about him going alley to alley, has good opposite field power. But he's just a good hitter, capable of hitting all kinds of pitches all over the strike zone. That ball backed up on him. Looked like they were trying to crowd him with a little slider or cut fastball, and it drifted out over the plate.
24 home runs, only 1 fewer than he had all of last year. Johnny Gomes is 0 for 1 with a walk. Ball 1. So Votto has given the Reds the long ball for the 116th time this year. They're 2nd in the league. And he's tied Prince Fielder with 24 for the NL lead in long balls. He's also 5th in runs batted in right now. Big cut by Gomes. 1 ball, 1 strike. The Reds have a good young outfielder, Chris Heisey. And Gomes is keeping him on the bench by hitting so well this year. Two balls and a strike. Guys like Cairo and Gomes have been around for a while with other clubs, really chiming in to help this Reds team, which is 25-15 within the division. 2 balls and a strike to Gomes, formerly with Tampa Bay. He was an 18th round pick of the Rays in 01 from San Francisco. Hit 20 homers for the Reds in 281 at-bats last year. Ground ball, Chris Johnson. Nice strong throw, ends the top of the 5th. With a Votto homer, getting out quickly on a line to right field, and lifting the Reds up by 2, 4-2. Strikeouts the first time through the Reds lineup tonight. And then he gave up 3 in the 4th, then a solo homer by Votto in the top of the 5th. Reds 4th involved 3 runs on 2 hits. A Houston error in the mix, but the runs were all earned. Now it is 4-2, and it's Travis Wood facing Bud Norris in the bottom of the 5th inning, and Bud takes strike 1. Wood hit a fly ball to center field, or Norris made another on a 2-2 count back in the 2nd. Wood has given up 5 singles in this game. Fly ball hit for the gap in left center field. Johnny Gomes watching it go. It bangs off the bullpen wall. Norris in with a leadoff double in the home 5th. First double of the season for Bud Norris.
His family enjoying that moment. Great swing at the bat there. We talked last time up about Bud being a good athlete. Real good looking swing here. He's a good hitter in college. A real good golfer. Got an outstanding eye-hand coordination. You watch him take BP, you know he's legit.
First extra base hit for the Astros. Jason Bourgeois comes up. First double of his career. One more than you, JD.
Yeah. I got robbed all the time.
You know, it was because of the way they grouped their infielders on you. They had that extreme shift on you, and they took away a lot of extra base hits.
And I was arrogant, Brownie. I always tried to beat it through that shift. I had to do it all over again. I would have started to pull the ball more.
Votto throws to third, and Norris is in a rundown. And Brandon Phelps fights him out, but Bourgeois gets into second base. Great hustle by Jason Bourgeois. It was a terrific play by Votto. A play not often made by a first baseman. He snapped off a throw to Cairo, but then in the ensuing rundown from 3 to 5 to 6, Bourgeois made it into second.
And you see where Votto's position, he's shortened up, and because of it, he's able to make that play on Bud Norris. That situation, and again, Bud, as the pitcher's not on base a lot, but you have to know where the infielders are. Can't afford to try to advance on that ball, but all well that ends well, and Bourgeois with his great hustle able to beat the play into second base.
And actually a favorable exchange of base runners for the Astros. To get the pitcher off base and get Bourgeois into scoring position for Sanchez.
Good trade. Otherwise, you got Bourgeois out and Bud still standing on second.
Yeah. Sanchez singled up the middle and he struck out. To center field, Stubbs. Bourgeois tagging. Stubbs with the throw to third base. Bourgeois moving in, and it's cut off. 2 outs, and it'll be Lance Berkman batting.
Let's take a little extra time here, I'd imagine. Bud running hard on the double, then getting hung up in that rundown. Losing up a lot of energy, so you want to give him a chance to regroup.
Game 1 of a 3-game series. Tomorrow night, we have a dandy for you. Johnny Cueto and Roy Oswalt at 6:05. Berkman singled up the middle in the first, and he rounded back to the pitcher in the third. Sunday afternoon, it's Mike Leake, 7-1, and Wandy Rodriguez, 7-11. It's a 105 start. Berkman looks it over, and it's ball 1 to Lance.
Base hit first time up on a little cut fastball that was up in the zone, but generally, especially from the right side, he's better down than up.
Two 2-0. JD mentioned earlier, the Reds have pitched a whole lot better since June 17th. They have a 3.18 ERA. That's best in the majors for the last month. Week or so. 2 balls, 1 strike.
Talking about them acquiring a pitcher, they did in a sense acquire a pitcher. Edinson Volquez came off the disabled list with mixed results. His first start was very, very good, and then yesterday he really struggled.
Well, understanding that first start, he was up to about 97 miles per hour after Tommy John surgery. He's back in less than a year from that surgery.
That's the reports we had seen on him while he was on his rehab assignment, that he was lighting up the radar gun. And I watched him in yesterday's game. He was throwing hard, but he was all over the place.
Homer Bailey might come back in the bullpen, they say, from his injury. Now 3-2 to Berkman. There's Lee on deck. Bourgeois has made it to third base. Berkman can tie it with a long ball. Strike 3. That ends the Astros fifth with no runs, 1 hit. A runner left at third base, 4-2 Cincinnati. Using a moment there, Bud Norris with a pitch. A little ground ball, and Arnel Sanchez comes home with a force out. The Coors Light Freeze Can brought to you by the Frost Brewed Coors Light. Sanchez took care of that play, but the Reds have scored 4 runs, and they lead at 4-2 with Jay Bruce leading it off here in the 6th inning. Bruce struck out in the 2nd inning, hit a sac fly to left in the 4th. He's been losing some playing time lately against left-handers, not hitting lefties this year. So you might see as this game evolves, or as this series evolves, the Astros bringing in a lefty reliever to face him if they get a choice. There's strike 1. Nice ball there for strike 2 to Bruce.
Quickly down in the count, so he's going to step out and regroup a little bit. Probably used to pitchers being a little more cautious with him. Good heaters.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Bruce had an 0 for 17 earlier this year. Now 2-2. They appeal to the third base umpire. He rules no swing. Hunter Wendelstedt on the call. Jay was a first-round pick in 05. He was the 12th player drafted that year. Made it to the majors in 08. Ground ball, and Keppinger gets it over to Berkman. Going out for Norris. 78 pitches for Bud. He'll work to Miguel Cairo next. Cairo has doubled inside the first baseline, and he's been hit by a pitch. Texas leads the Angels 1-0. They played 5 at Arlington. Michael Young hit his 14th home run. Cliff Lee won for the Rangers last night.
Boy, that's a big series for Los Angeles.
Very big.
And a close ground on the Rangers.
They're 6 games behind Texas right now, 7 in the loss column. A lot of games left with each other, but nonetheless, the Rangers are looking very good at the moment.
C.J. Wilson pitching that game for Texas tonight. Tell you what, Randy Wells must have been awfully good. The Cubs shutting out the Cardinals this afternoon. The wind was howling out at Wrigley.
Yeah, they were talking about his fastball being a little more lively today. He had the game on for a few innings. And he started out throwing about 93. And saw him get 2 holes on a pop-up to right field. So he really did seem to have some very good stuff today. 1-2 for Bud Norris. And he's trying the changeup. Would you say he's throwing the changeup more often tonight than he has?
That would be my guess, yes.
Looks like it.
If he threw it a lot in that last start, I didn't recognize it. And that's a bad sign. If you're throwing your changeup and nobody can recognize it, then you're throwing it very well. But yeah, it looks like he's made more of a commitment to it here tonight. He just threw back-to-back once to Cairo. Breakdown on it, 48% fastballs, sliders, and then 17% changeup.
Yeah. Looks like less reliance on the heater. But a walk puts Cairo on for the 3rd straight time. That's a 3rd walk for Norris.
This legendary performance is brought to you by Cabot Wood Stains. On this date in 1962, Jackie Robinson was inducted into baseball's Hall of Fame in Cooperstown. That's this weekend.
Big weekend coming up in Cooperstown.
Andre Dawson. There's a lot of animals. The hawk, the white rat. Doug Harvey, he was just God.
Yeah.
Man, he was God.
Drew Stubbs, big strike 1.
The hawk, the rat, and God all going into the Hall of Fame together. And John Miller will be going into the broadcast.
Yeah, very deserving.
Please.
Yeah.
Like John Miller impersonation.
He does a lot of impersonations very well himself.
He does Vin Scully in Japanese, which is killer.
0-2. Well, that was interesting today to read in USA Today about the Hall of Fame coaxing Andre Dawson to go into the Hall of Fame with an Expos cap. He wanted to go in with a Cubs cap on his plaque. He was an Expo a lot longer than a Cub. Rolled out to short. Sanchez steps on second, throws to first in time for a double play. Very close call. Stubbs almost beat it, but the Astros turned their 86 double play. In the middle of the 6th inning, it's 4-2 Reds. for your next outing. All it takes is 20 or more people to enjoy discount pricing on tickets. For more information, call 1-800-ASTROS-2. Ask about fundraising opportunities. You can wear your white hat if you choose, or come in a yellow T-shirt. Just have fun. Baseball is fun in a group.
He's doing his best Mike Brito impersonation.
Oh, Mike Brito. Where has he gone? We haven't seen him for years.
Mike Brito's the guy, the scout for the Dodgers. You used to always see behind home plate back in the 70s and 80s with the Panama hat and the radar gun.
Yeah, standing right back there. You can see him on every pitch of the game.
Next to the guy with the rainbow wig and the John 316 sign. Yeah, Staples.
Strike to Carlos Lee. He's 0 for 2. Travis Wood, track for his first major league win this far into the game. Leads by a couple. Into left field, and Carlos Lee gets it started for the Astros here in the 6th inning.
Carlos has had good swings tonight. This is the first time it's paid off for him. Down, got a low fastball and hooked it into left field.
Hit number 7 for Houston. Number 10 took a look down at Dave Clark. Hunter's 2 for 2 with an RBI and a run scored. Baltimore beat Minnesota at Baltimore 3-2. Guthrie won that one. He's 4-10. Rick Scott hit his 15th homer. Ground ball. Really close for Hunter Wendelstedt.
Get a good look at it here. Yep. Now where it lands, it's where it crosses the bag on a ground ball. It looked like it was outside the bag.
Johnny Gomes is swinging around toward the left field corner, leaving tons of room in left center field.
Yeah, most left fielders in this ballpark play right at the end of the scoreboard because if you get any ball hit hard, you know they're going to be able to track down anyway. But I'm wondering if he's. And I haven't seen where he's been playing all night long. I don't know if this is specific because of Pence or for the man on first now. He wants to make sure he can get to the ball in the corner and stop Lee from scoring.
High drive to left. Hunter Pence has hit one to tie it. It's a 4-4 game, and Pence is 3 for 3. Home run number 14, giving him 47 runs batted in. Had him played perfectly.
Yeah, never mind where Gomes was. Really Hannigan's thing. Get him on down here, and he did. He just reaches out. Pretty much one-hands this ball into the seats. It speaks to the strength of Hunter Pence and the coziness of the Crawford boxes.
So they'll be getting a certificate that they caught the baseball and also a gift card to Landry's Restaurant. There is strike one. See the ticket stuff, so they'll be able to put together a nice little display from this game. Good angle of it. Wars gear and everything. Now to left center field. Coppinger. And Stubbs is over on the run. It gets by Stubbs. Coppinger into second and holding with a double. 3 straight hits out of the chute for the Astros here in the 6th. That's the 25th double for Keppinger, who leads the club.
Travis Wood calling out Ryan Hannigan. He says, time to go to plan B. They're going to have to make an adjustment here. Single home run double. Astros a triple away from hitting for the cycle here in the 6th. Nobody out. The single and the double were hit harder than the home run. Hunter's he's just smarter. He is in the best direction. Got an airborne to left field.
9 hits for the Astros, 4 for the Reds. Chris Johnson, a strikeout and a sac fly to the second baseman. Otero on deck in a 4-4 game.
Brad Mills getting ready to pinch hit for Bud Norris. Has action in the bullpen. Looks like Wilson Lopez.
Nelson Figueroa is the newcomer in that bullpen tonight. He was claimed on waivers Wednesday by the Astros. One ball, one strike.
Tough break for Gary Majeski, who had just joined the club on the road trip and then was going to come home to Houston, where he's from. Gary sent out. There's Figueroa in the background there, just beyond the right shoulder of Wilton Lopez, next to Jamie Quirk.
Figueroa is with the Phillies. Now we have Smith warming up. Jordan Smith for the Reds. Ground ball rolled to third. Cairo. One out. Temperature holding, and now Quintero coming up. Quintero is flied to left, and he's popped to the catcher. 91 pitches for Travis Wood. Jason Michaels coming out to the on-deck circle with a pitcher spot due up next for Houston. Jeff Fulcino felt good, we were told, during his simulated game this afternoon. Popped up. Called by Phillips. Now he yields. This time they get it right.
Yep. I see the smile on Brandon Phillips. And obviously, they talked it over, and I'm sure after that inning, we're talking about in the fourth inning when Jay Bruce did not call out Brandon Phillips on a shallow pop-up like that. If you weren't with us, Hunter Pence tagged up and scored. It's clearly a ball that Bruce should have got. Right now, Bruce is taking charge of this one.
Yeah. He did. Classic. That's textbook. Brian Price, the pitching coach, gets rave reviews for his work. He comes out now with Jason Michaels, having been announced as the pinch hitter for Bud Norris. Emerging young pitching staff here in Cincinnati with Price at the helm. Just some terrific results from these young arms. This is the worst game, I think, for Wood of the five so far.
Yeah, and it's the one time they've scored some runs, but wasn't able to hold the lead. Well, he gave up 5 to the Mets in 4 2/3, 3 of which were earned. Other than that, his first start was against Colorado, 6 innings of 1-run ball. Then that game against the Phillies, 9 innings of shutout ball, just 1 hit. And last time out, 7 innings, 2 hits, 2 runs to the Cubs.
Michaels, who had the big pinch 2-run double in Chicago in the 12th inning to give the Astros a 3-1 lead in a game they won 4-3 on Wednesday. Takes that one, strike one. Well, that was quite a battle on Wednesday. Pedro Feliz had hit a pinch homer for the Astros' first run of the game in the 8th inning. And the Astros had to hang on to win it 4-3 as the Cubs came back with 2 in the bottom of the 12th. Michael, 5 pinch hits. Takes that one. 1-1 to Jason. He has 1 pinch homer and 5 driven in these pinch hitting roles. And he's had a lot of them. 31 at bats, more than anybody on the Astros club. 2 outs with a runner in scoring position.
You know, Bud Norris has got those pom-poms out right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Base hit, he's got a chance to be a winning pitcher.
That's blocked nicely by Hannigan. The count's 2-1. So Norris exiting after 6 innings, and he was having a problem with the finger on his pitching hand back in the 4th, it appeared. Was able to go a couple more after that. Gave up 4 hits, 4 runs in the 6 innings, marking 3 and failing 5. Through 88 pitches. Foul away. 2-2. Norris keeping his club in the game, hoping that Michaels could come through and put the Astros in the lead, so perhaps he could get his first win at home this year. He's 2-7 overall, 0-4 at home. Fly ball to center. Stubbs waiting. And Hunter Pence's 2-run homer ties it in the 6th. Number 14 of the year for Hunter. It's a 3 RBI game for him and a 4-4 affair through 6. Sports Houston is brought to you by Chevy, by 5-Hour Energy, by Whataburger, and by TxDOT. Want to win a fuel-saving hybrid? It's easy to enter at drivecleanacrosstexas.org. 4-4 ball game after 6 good ones tonight. This call to the bullpen is brought to you by Verizon Wireless. Those folks are watching Wilton Lopez. They had to avoid blinking because it would have missed his sprint in from the bullpen. He gets there in a hurry.
Yeah, he's one of the quickest in the league from bullpen to mound. Not quite as quick as Todd Coffey, though. And we have documented evidence of that. And not only is he quick, but he's out there often. He got the day off the other day because he pitched 4 days in a row. Now works for his 39th time, 3-0, 4.17 ERA. And outstanding with men on base.
And Hannigan drove in 2 with a single in the 4th. He's 1 for 2. Strike for Lopez. Pitcher Spadu up next. Wood is out of the on-deck circle with this game tied 4-4.
I don't know what kind of shape Dusty's bullpen is in. They worked hard yesterday because Volquez got an early exit from that ball game.
Wilton Lopez had worked Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. 2 games in Pittsburgh, 2 games in Chicago on that road trip. The results have been so good, managers tempted to keep going back to a guy like Lopez, a hot hand in the bullpen. Change up dips, and it's a 1-ball, 2-strike count.
There is action in the Reds bullpen. I'm not sure if that's Smith or somebody else up throwing now. So this may be a situation where if Hannigan reaches and Wood's able to bunt him over, he stays in the game. And if Hannigan makes it out, maybe they'll pinch hit.
A good heater there, blows away Hannigan. Lopez set him up well. They change up on a preceding pitch.
It's a piece of cheese right by him, well placed. Down around the knees, outside corner.
Now pinch hitter coming up for Cincinnati, batting for Travis Wood, Lance Nix. That's Logan Ondrusek in the Reds bullpen, the big right-hander warming up. And he's had good results for Dusty Baker since being elevated from AAA Louisville. Nix at 219 as a pinch hitter, has a homer, 2 runs batted in. He's had some good swings against the Astros this year. Leads the Reds pinch hitters in hits and at bats, with 7 hits and 32 at bats. That's a nice pitch for Lopez. Strike 1 to Nix. Nix had a 2-hit game here back on the 29th of April. Not just good for this type role on a ball club. An occasional starter, but he was playing some left field earlier, and Gomes has slammed the door on these other guys who's been hitting so well.
Well, yeah, the last couple of years they've had some difficulties stabilizing that outfield situation there. There was Hairston was out there for a while, and Denorfia tried Willie Taveras for a while. Corey Patterson passed through town.
Strike 3. Wow. This is a surgical procedure here for Lopez on Hannigan and Nix.
Paging Dr. Lopez. Lopez. Nothing fancy there. Threw on right down the middle. Yeah, generally, when we see that shot from that angle, if the hitter's foot is just getting planted and the ball's already in our picture, it's a little too late. He's not going to be able to turn it loose.
Brandon Phillips is 0 for 3. Always dangerous. And he could turn around a fastball. There's strike 1 to Phillips. Great fastball hitter.
He's been scuffling lately. 0 for 3 tonight.
This is his 24th straight start as the Reds' leadoff man. 1 ball, 1 strike. Stubbs has been more effective down in the 7th spot. And Phillips, a 344 on base average. Phillips may become the first Red since the 1970s to lead the National League in runs scored. He's leading right now anyway. Joe Morgan did it, as you probably recall, back for the Big Red Machine. I think George Foster check on that. Ground ball wide of third base.
Was it run scored?
Yep.
100. Yeah, Pete Rose must have too, right?
Yeah.
A Big Red Machine boy.
It's been a while, hasn't it? Yeah, they just cranked out runs. George Foster, the last Red to lead the league in runs scored. 124 in his MVP season of 1977. Pete Rose did it 3 times in the 70s. Joe Morgan did it in 72. And you're right, they just kept coming at you. 3-2 now.
They're a machine like.
Now is it going to the heater?
Well, Phillips pretty aggressive. Generally doesn't walk. So he's, I think this situation, you're in a tie ball game. You've got to be a little wary here. If you're going to throw him a fastball, make sure you get it out there on the outside edge.
He scored more runs than even Martin Prado. And he walked. 32nd walk for Phillips, and he's aboard for Cabrera. That's the 4th walk for Astros pitchers.
Phillips perhaps looking to steal a base here. He's got 11 bags, but he's been caught 8 times. So not a real high percentage.
Humberto Quintero is thrown out 34%.
Burdack is ready to go. He's been thrown for a while. If Cabrera reaches, Burdack will come in for Votto.
Yeah, there was an entertaining spot parody on that Most Interesting Man in the World spot. And Tim Burdack played that role up on the video board between innings. So next time you come out to the ballpark, watch for that. There's strike 1. We assume a lot of people will be coming out tomorrow night for that Roy Oswalt Johnny Cueto matchup at 6:05. Roy 1 win away from tying Joe Niekro on the Astros all-time win list for the number 1 position. It's 1-1.
Well, I think it would be fitting that Roy win the game about 8-1, go the distance, and throw a knuckleball from his final pitch.
Oh, wouldn't that be something? Did you see that there's a girl in Florida throwing knuckleball, I think in Little League, and she was taught the pitch by Joe Niekro.
Yeah. She's doing really well.
What a great legacy. He would teach boys, girls. Anybody wanted to throw that pitch?
He and Phil managed the women's professional team there, right? With the
silver bullets.
Silver bullets.
Forgot about that. You're right. 1-2 to Cabrera. Bourgeois in right center field for Cabrera. He won't reach, and it's 2-2 now. Lopez has thrown 17 pitches in the inning.
Came out throwing darts, struck out the first two men he faced. Wobbled a little bit since then.
This is his second outing against the Reds this season. Roy Halladay won his 11th against 8 losses. His ERA is 2.28. Philadelphia shut out Colorado 6-0. Cook the loser. Ross Gloat hit his 4th homer for the Phils. Probably a complete game for Doc. Swing and a miss. And Cabrera strikes out. Lopez strikes out the side. Here at the top of the 7th inning. Fans are getting up in a 4-4 game. Time now for our extraordinary play, brought to you by Land Rover, showing you a rare sacrifice fly to second base. Chris Johnson very happy. Hunter Pence was running. And a catch by Brandon Phillips, who made a good throw on one hop. But Pence is able to beat that throw to the plate.
Hunter Pence clearly leading the way in our 3-star selection here tonight. The home run, driving 2. Stole home essentially on that shallow fly ball.
Involved in all 4 runs, driving in 3 and scoring the other one. Now a big Logan Andrusek from Shiner, Texas comes in, and he's been lighting it up lately, JD.
So if he miscues with a man on base, is that a Shiner balk?
It probably is. He takes over here against the top of the order, Jason Bourgeois. Bunted and barehanded. Here's Cairo throwing out Bourgeois.
Good idea, good try, good play. To nullify the good try. The thing I was looking at said he's from Hallettsville, Texas. Was that right next to Shiner?
Well, I don't know.
Or maybe born one place and lives somewhere else, lives in the other. The Shiner balk is a lot better than Hallettsville balk, so we'll go with it.
We went to McLennan Community College in the Waco area. Inside to Sanchez, ball 1. Well, Andrusek is not allowed to run in any of his last 14 appearances, covering 14 and a third innings, walking 2 and fanning 11. That's the second longest streak by a Reds reliever this season. Arthur Rhodes had a 30-inning scoreless streak earlier this year.
Big lanky right-hander, kind of comes over the top. Reminds me a little bit of Ryan Madsen with the Phillies.
inside, and he's fallen behind Sanchez. 3 balls, no strikes. He was recalled from Louisville on June 1st when Carlos Fisher was optioned to that club. And he had retired 20 consecutive batters. He had a walk at Philadelphia on July 8th. And there's a 4-pitch walk. Sanchez working his way aboard for Berkman.
And aboard here, 7th inning. So many times games are won or lost here in the 7th. You look at the delivery of the big righty. 6'7" on Drusick. Long stride, plants that front side, uses that leverage. Throw against that firm front side.
Now Berkman, he's 1 for 3. Alex is close to Shiner. It's on Highway 90. It has a municipal airport.
Berkman takes ball 1.
Hannigan goes out.
So let's just assume that Logan's got a bunch of family and friends here tonight.
Yes, let's assume. It's south of Schulenburg and Weimar. You know where Weimar is.
Yeah, Weimar's just north of Schulenburg.
You've got it pinpointed right now. So yeah, we would have to assume he'd have a lot of family and friends watching this game. First year in the big leagues, 25 years old, 13th round pick in 05. Upstairs to Berkman at 92. As good as the young arms in the Reds bullpen have been, there's a thought that maybe 2 veterans with tons of appearances, Russ Springer and Jason Isringhausen, will be in their bullpen soon. They've signed both recently. Bouncer on 1 hop. Votto gets the angle for the throw, and then the return throw from shortstop Cabrera. Makes it a beautiful 3-6-3 double play. And that ends the 7th inning with a score: Cincinnati 4, Houston 4.
Champion Chevrolet to go freeway for their support of the Sagemont Beverly Hills Little League. For more information on Chevy's commitment to youth league baseball, visit ChevyTexasBaseball.com. I thought Beverly Hills was in California.
Yeah. Tim Burdack comes in.
Too, huh?
He got 1 too. He is in 37 games, 1-0, 30,375 who paid attendance tonight.
Well, he was up there last inning ready in case Votto came up. Votto did not, but now he does. So if the Birdman gets the call, nullify this tough left-handed hitter. And Joey Votto, a guy who hangs in there well against lefties, so he's tough on everybody.
Votto is 3 for 8 against Burdack in his career. That's ball 1. That includes a homer. Nice job by Wilton Lopez, striking out the side in the 7th. He had a walk. Votto 241 against the lefties. Taps it to first, but it goes foul for Lance Berkman. That was quite a 3-6-1 double play by the Reds to end the last inning. Ball hit by Berkman. Votto took that to the inside of the baseline so he could get a clear throwing lane. And the shortstop Cabrera got it back to the pitcher, Andrusek, covering.
And usually the pitcher is the weak link in that whole thing. A lot of times he doesn't get over there in time, or gets kind of jumbled up with the footwork. That time Andrusek able to make the play.
1-2 to Votto. And Gomes on deck, and then the lefty hitting Jay Bruce due up third. That's why the selection of Burdack seems to be the appropriate one for this situation.
Watch how quickly Votto closes on it. It's a tougher play for a right-handed first baseman. He has to turn to make the throw. He's so quick. It's a difference maker.
That's foul. Good grab up there. That catch.
Who made the play?
I think the kid, she's counting her money, so it wasn't her. I think it's the little guy behind her, but it's hard to tell. Somebody got it right in the glove. Bouncer and on through past the diving Keppinger into right field, so Votto hangs in, and he reaches to open the 8th inning with his second hit of the night.
If you were protecting a lead in this situation, you might be willing to go left, right, left with your pitching, but still in a tie game. You get in the late stages of a tie game, you're not sure how long you're going to go, and you're hesitant to burn pitchers like that.
So that puts Gomes up against the lefty.
Of course, if this is the 8th inning, the Astros have a lead. Brandon Lyons probably in there regardless of what hand the hitter is.
Fouls it back. There's strike one to Johnny, who walked and scored in the 4th. He's 0 for 2. Burdack has not given up a run in his last 19 appearances, covering 11 and a third innings. His consecutive scoreless appearances all season by an Astros reliever. Gomes hammers a line drive to left field. Carlos Lee over to play it, and there's a stop at second base and a throw back as he does play it to hold Votto to one base advanced on the single by Gomes. Looked like Votto would make third without much of a question, but Lee hustled over.
Well, that's just good base running to go hard, give yourself a chance to advance. If there's any kind of a misplay, and he's got the play right in front of him. So you can see Carlos get to the ball, and then he has time to scramble back. You don't ever want to be caught by surprise when somebody bobbles the ball or gives you an opportunity to take that extra base. Go ahead and go hard all the way, and then force them to make a play to stop you.
And Jay Bruce is 0 for 2.
You don't want to make that first out of an inning at third base, so caution the right play there by Votto.
Bruce is 1 for 5, a homer off Burdack in his career, the homer this season. But around to bunt this time, and lefty on lefty with Bruce struggling against lefty pitching. That's understandable. The Dusty Baker would want him sacrificing here with 2 on and nobody out. Cairo coming up next. Mark Berry has signs.
Jay Bruce has exactly 0 sacrifice bunts this year. And that's the thing. Sometimes the situation calls for a sacrifice, but does the personnel? How comfortable, how experienced is he getting a bunt down?
Bruce a .234 hitter against southpaws. It's a wide one, and it's 1-1. He's had 111 at-bats against lefties this year. Yankees lead Kansas City 6-0 after a rain delay. They're now in the top of the 7th inning. Line fair into the right field corner. That one kicks out to Hunter Pence. That'll score Votto. And a stop at third on an RBI double by Bruce. 5-4 Reds. Bruce was right on that pitch for his 22nd double of the year, giving him 39 runs batted in.
Bruce with a little misplay earlier by not running Brandon Phillips off that ball in shallow right field, making up for it with this swing. About a second RBI of the night. The Reds setting up shop here. 2 more in scoring position. Nobody out.
First run allowed in a long time by Burdack. Cincinnati 5, Houston 4. Back in a moment. The double.
After trying to bunt on the first pitch, Dusty Baker said, why do that? It's a power hitter, let him swing. Hooks one down the first baseline, just barely stays fair. In comes Joey Votto. Reds have the lead, and they're looking for more.
Now making his Astros debut, the veteran right-hander Nelson Figueroa, 36 years old. Claimed on waivers from the Phillies on Wednesday. He's 2-1 in 13 games.
And he went to camp with the Mets. Was designated for assignment, picked up by the Phillies. Most of the first 2 months of the season with them. Also pitched with the Phillies AAA club. He's been around the big league scene off and on for quite a while now.
Miguel Cairo's the batter. Cairo's been on all 3 times. A double, hit by pitch, and a walk. Taking ball 1. Figueroa was drafted by the Mets in '95, traded to Arizona in '98. Phillies got him in a deal in 2000. Moved on waivers to Milwaukee, Pittsburgh. Fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's from Brooklyn. He's a graduate of Brandeis University. Back in '01, he designed some T-shirts which raised money for victims of the 9/11 attacks. A 3-year gap, 5, 6, and 7 when he wasn't in the big leagues.
And he's, by all accounts, just a great guy. I don't know personally, but I've heard a number of people speak very highly of him.
A number of years in the minor leagues. And before the game, Brad Mills says he sees Figueroa as a guy who could be a multiple innings type. He likes to start. Curveball. And that's what Chris Spire remembered about him as he was asked before the game about Figueroa, that big curveball.
Hey, not a real hard throw. He's a finesse guy, so he's really got to mix it up. This is a dandy here. RBI situation. Hitters get greedy. You have to take advantage of their greed.
Here's Stubbs of Texarkana, Texas. The infielders come in and he fouls it, strike one. He's 0 for 3. Chris Spires, the bench coach, and he was saying that Stubbs, who's 25 years old, could very well turn into a top of the lineup hitter once he's been around a little bit longer. But right now, the 7th spot fits well for him. He had 3 homers in one game this year.
He's an interesting player. You know, he's got power and speed. He's stolen 18 bases this year, 13 home runs. He strikes out a ton.
And that's the rub right now that prevents him from being at the top of the order. A good player for the Texas Longhorns. He had been drafted by the Astros from high school in Atlanta, Texas. He was a high school All-America. They failed to sign him, so he went back into the draft and was a first rounder in 06, the 8th player drafted that year. Fly ball to center. Bourgeois being chased way back and far back for the running catch. It'll be a sac fly. And he gets the ball back in as it's 6-4 Reds on a deep drive by Stubbs for his 49th run batted in. Good play by Bourgeois.
Very good play by Bourgeois, and you get a sense of the power that Stubbs has. He reaches down on this curveball, and look at the finish with the hands, the way the hands release with that swing.
Ryan Hannigan comes up, 2 runs home, a runner at third, 2 outs. Hannigan drove in a couple with a single in the 4th. He's 1 for 3. Strike for Figueroa. Jay Bruce had the big hit, the RBI double to break the 4-4 tie. Now he's hoping to score run number 3 of the inning. It's 1-1. Florida and Atlanta are in a delay. Well, now apparently they're starting again. It's 5-4 Florida at Florida, top of the 9th inning. Hannigan grounds 1 to Berkman. And the Reds in the 8th score 2 runs on 3 hits and leave a man. It's 6-4 Cincinnati. Last, showing you Hunter Pence, and he gets out in front of that one and sends it into the Landry's Crawford boxes for a 2-run homer in the 6th inning, his 3rd hit of the game. Now tied at 4-4, but now the Reds lead 6-4. Astros come up against Nick Massett. Dusty Baker has made a double switch. Paul Janisch, who in to Rice University. Takes over at third base, and he's batting ninth, so he'll be to the lead off the ninth inning. And Massett comes in with a 3-3 record and a 4.74 ERA.
Well, Giannis, a very good glove man. Tighten things up a little bit defensively in the infield. Massett, big, hard-throwing right-hander. Better than a strikeout per inning pitched. What we need to do is giving on the, hey, we need a superhero is what we need.
There he is right there. Logan Ondrusek, phase 3 in the 7th inning. Worked a hitless frame. Survived a walk by following that with a 3-6-1 double play. Nice debut for him at Minute Maid Park as a major leaguer. Now it's Carlos Lee leading off the home 8th inning. He's 1 for 3. Got things started in the 6th with a single and then rode home on the Hunter Pence homer. Massett is in front, 0-1 in the count. With the Chicago White Sox. Massett, 28 years old, from St. Petersburg, Florida. And UNLV. Hit 74 times for the Reds last year. 1 ball, 1 strike. He's faced the Astros 4 times this season. He allowed a Lance Berkman 2-run homer in the 9th here in late April. Hunter Pence is on deck. Lee puts it in the air to shallow left. Cabrera, 1 out. Miguel Cairo was on base 3 times. He made his exit with Massett taking over in his number 6 spot in the order. Now it's Hunter Pence. He is 0 for 7 in his career against Massett.
This is, the game really gets tough for the hitters. You get into these late stages and you're facing different pitchers with each at bat. So the guy with a 95-mile-an-hour heater shows a little cutter, a curveball, and an occasional split finger pitch. This is why I would think if I were a hitter, I would really rely on some of the scouting reports more so than I would with a starting pitcher. Starting pitcher you kind of see as the game goes along and get a feel for him. But in this one at bat, it would be nice to know, hey, this guy throws fastball 80% of the time on a first pitch where he's looking for something.
Little tap. Giannis bare hands. Didn't get him. Hunter Pence is 4 for 4. An infield hit this time for Hunter.
He gets a whole bunch of these too. Rolls over. It's a little weak ground ball to the left side, but comes flying out of that box. And now the Astros have the tying run in the batter's box. Jeff Kempinger's having a good night. Single double last 2 trips.
Hunter 4 for 4, and that's his 19th infield hit. Michael Bourne leads. Hunter Pence is 2nd in the National League. Now Kempinger, as JD mentioned, hitting well. Single to right, double to left center in 3 trips. Johnson on deck. Massett falls behind 1-0 to Kempinger. Ten hits for the Astros, 7 for the Reds. Arthur Rhodes, the lefty's warming up. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Cueto, a 9-game winner, goes for the Reds tomorrow night. He's been throwing the ball exceptionally well lately. Kempinger has not faced Massett before. It's 2-1. And he tried to pull that one back to the corner. Massett is 4th in the league in appearances. The talk around that Cincinnati organization is that after they signed Russ Springer and Jason Isringhausen, you might be seeing those 2 guys in their bullpen. in the final weeks of the season.
But not a bad idea when you're in a situation like the Reds are to sign some veteran guys, get them in shape, and give them some minor league appearances, and just see how much gas is left in the tank.
Yeah. Well, Dusty's going to have to deal with the Mike Leake innings situation here pretty soon. They don't want him to overextend himself with too many innings pitched in his first professional season. And there's talk that Homer Bailey could come back as a reliever after he returned from the disabled list.
What about the Chapman kid?
Well, he could be in the bullpen as well. There's Cueto sitting there on the end of the bench. And there's Bronson Arroyo, the veteran in the rotation, and they're hoping to get Aaron Harang back. So there are a lot of questions about where they go with their pitchers and who their pitchers are, in fact, in August and September. 2-2.
Hey fans, here's your chance to meet a Houston Astros player and become the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. Next Tuesday, Jeff Keppinger will be at that Whataburger there in Katy from 11 till noon. You can sign up to be the ultimate Whataburger Whata fan. You can win free tickets for the Astros Cubs in October. Be on the field for BP throughout the first pitch. And most importantly, you get to meet Cap and the Big Rabbit, Chunks and Jack. And have a nice burger while you're at it.
Hunter goes on 2-2. No throw by Hannigan. It's ball 3 on a stolen base by Hunter Pence, his 12th.
Obviously felt comfortable that he had a pretty good read on Massett. Obviously cannot afford to get thrown out in this situation, down a couple of runs.
Full count to Keppinger. And ball 4. 2 men on with 1 out for Chris Johnson now.
I do like the aggressiveness. I mean, a lot of people say, wait a minute, you're in the 8th inning, you're down 2, why are you stealing second? You can't afford to be taking chances. But the Astros don't hit many home runs. And they've got Cordero out there in the bullpen ready for the 9th. So, you know, even if you push 1 across here, give you a much more of a chance against Cordero in the 9th. Because now with the walk, you're looking for more.
Johnson had the sac fly. He's 0 for 2. That's ball 1 to him. Bad idea to take a pitch. Massett has not had perfect control here. Giving signs. The Reds have 28 saves, 11 blown saves this year. Their bullpen ERA is 4.31. Left field. Pence to third. Stop sign there as Gomes gets it back into the plate. Base is loaded. No by a 1 out on the single by Johnson now. And he now has a 7-game hitting streak. Gomes' throw, not bad. And it'll be Quintero's spot coming up.
Swing of the bat here by Chris Johnson. Very quiet, low body. You see Gomes is on the ball before Pence reaches third base, and that's why Dave Clark throws up the stop signs. Very difficult in this ballpark, that short wall in left field, for anybody. And Pence, you know, his speed. Guy you're going to take chances with if you have a fighting chance, but the line drive to left, that's impossible.
Pedro Feliz is coming up to pinch hit for Humberto Quintero. The base is loaded and 1 out. He delivered a huge pinch homer to Chicago off Ted Lilly to tie the game in the 8th on Wednesday 1-1. Astros going on to win it in the 12th.
And I think that's exactly the reason why Feliz is getting this at bat. You're going to have to bring Jason Castro into the game to catch that. So a lot of times you'll bring your pinch hit with the other catcher, and Castro being a left-handed hitter would be a prudent choice as well. But Feliz fresh off that pinch hit home run. Brad Mills going to see if he can catch lightning in a bottle again.
1 for 9 as a pinch hitter this year. Ball one to Pedro. Pedro is 1 for 3 against Nick Massett in his career. Anderson Hernandez, a switch hitting infielder, just joined the Astros. He's in the on-deck circle. Pitcher spot due up next.
The other thing Mills is considering with Arthur Rhodes out there in the pen, if you go with Castro or Bourne here, you're going to get the lefty, and Rhodes having an all-star year.
Excellent point.
And Mills prefers this matchup.
Astros had 2 pinch hits from Feliz and Michaels in their Wednesday win. Breaking pitch, and it's a 1-2 count. Ball for swinging at it.
Hennigan's winners initially didn't call it. You could tell by Pedro's reaction. He knew he went. And it wasn't until they appealed that they got the call.
Now he fights for contact with the bases loaded. And on another breaking pitch, he did check that time. The appeal went to first again. 2-2 and the Brian Runge call.
Interesting battle going on here. Feliz just hoping to get a fastball in the strike zone. And the fact that he was able to check there maybe buys himself a heater.
He's 2 for 7 with the bases loaded this year. And struck him out. 2 outs, and now Anderson Hernandez has been in the on-deck circle. He just joined the Astros today. Claimed on waivers Wednesday. He was out for early swings in the simulated game. That happened about 3 o'clock this afternoon with Brian Moeller doing some pitching. And now Dusty Baker will go with the lefty Arthur Rhodes, it appears. Also Jeff Fulcino did some throwing in that simulated game. So Massa gets 2 outs. And Rhodes will come in with the bases loaded and a 6-4 lead back at home. Game, and pitching coach Brad Arnsberg was doing the catching today. Pedro Feliz was one of the hitters, and Anderson Hernandez had just arrived and put on a uniform. Jeff Fulcino also pitched in that simulated game. There's Hernandez hitting about 3:15 this afternoon for Brad Mills, so those pitchers could get in some work, but it was also a chance for Hernandez to get into this ballpark and get a few swings as he puts on his Astros uniform, and now he's in a game situation hours later, JD.
Well, you know, you get one chance to make a first impression, and boy, he's got some kind of an opportunity here as he comes in with the bases loaded. To face Arthur Rhodes as a veteran, this is kind of fun. Broke down an unbelievable start this year. For the longest time, had an ERA of 0. Hasn't been quite as sharp. But still, the numbers overall are very good. So they're on their feet. They're dancing on the train. People are jacked up. And perhaps one swing away from a tie ball game.
Hernandez was with the Indians. He was claimed on waivers Wednesday by the Astros. Switch hitter. Coming up with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Switch hitting for Figueroa. And hitting a foul ball, strike 1. Hernandez was with Detroit at the start of his career. He's 26 years old. Signed in 01 as a free agent. He's from the Dominican Republic, Santo Domingo. Then he was traded to the Mets. Washington claimed him on waivers. And went back to New York. And with Cleveland earlier.
His glove has kept him in the big leagues. Very good glove man. Hasn't been able to do a lot with the bat in his career.
245 hitter and 208 major league games. Bourgeois on deck. Fouled, and it's 1-2 for Arthur Rhodes. Rhodes, quite a story, an all-star this year. 40 years old from Waco. All those major league appearances, and he makes the trip to Anaheim this year to represent the National League. Special time for Arthur Rhodes. Baltimore, Seattle, Oakland, Pittsburgh, bouncing around to Cleveland and Philly, Florida. Broken down roller. Giannis at third with the throw to end the Astros 8th inning. No runs, 2 hits, 3 men left. 6-4 Reds after 8. New battery in there for the top of the 9th inning. Chris Sampson is warming up to Jason Castro. Castro batting 8th and Sampson batting 9th. So there's a new catcher. After Humberto Quintero left for the pinch hitter Pedro Feliz.
Well, the Astros failing to cash in on a couple opportunities tonight. Big one there, bases loaded, just 1 out. They do not score. Back in the 6th after Pence's home run, Jeff Keppinger hit a double, so had a man on second. With nobody out, we're not able to get him around. These at-bats will come back to haunt you. Chris Sampson, 1-0. 6.04 the ERA. League hitting .319 against him, and he's given up 6 home runs. It's kind of anti-Chris. Generally does a good job keeping the ball in the ballpark.
Paul Janich of Houston, who went to Cy Creek High School and Rice University, comes up to lead it off in the Reds' 9th inning. 281 for Paul, 2 homers. He's driven in 9.
Channel View versus Cy Creek.
Yeah. Giannis looks at ball 1 from Sampson. Giannis has had 57 at-bats with the Reds. Ground ball up the middle, and he gets a hit. He's had some big games here against the Astros.
See how Dusty Baker chooses to play it here. He's in the mode now where he's just looking to play add-on as they bat and tap off the ninth. Phillips maybe asked to drop a bunt down.
That's hit number 8 for the Reds, and Phillips has not had a hit today. He's 0 for 3 with a walk. Wants the signs again from Mark Berry. Astros led 1-0. And the Reds got 3 in the 4th to go up 3-1. Runner takes off. Here's a throw from Castro to Keppinger. What a good tag. After he snatched that ball, it was tailing a little bit. Castro got it there early, and that's what gave Keppinger a chance to make the play.
And Phillips taking all the way, so it looks like a straight steal. Unless Phillips missed a hit and run sign. I mean, that wasn't even close.
Nope. He did back out and mark the signs again.
When you think of Giannis as a base stealer.
Yeah, you're right. Fly ball to left center field. Bourgeois calling. That would have been a blown play. Out number 2.
I'm guessing. And it's amazing. You talk to coaches now. You get the sense that they feel like it's about a 50-50 proposition on whether the guy's going to get the sign or not. I remember we had that shot of Mike Quade here, third base coach of the Cubs last year.
That was great.
He just looked over at the base runner and said, "You stay." Put his hands up and looked at the hitter. "You swing."
Well, they talk it over on the bench. Giannis was caught stealing, and now it's Cabrera. Cabrera 1 for 4. Strike for Sampson. Tim Burdack is on the hook for this one. Did not retire a batter. Gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, no walks, no strikeouts. Nelson Figueroa, 1 inning, no hits, no runs, with 1 strikeout. Sampson's pitcher number 5 for Brad Mills. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count for Chris. Chris gave up a game-tying homer to Giovanni Soto in the 6th inning Tuesday night at Chicago. Two balls and a strike. He was down for 3 weeks in June with right rotator cuff tendonitis, on the disabled list. Up the middle, and that one skips on through into center field. Cabrera gets hit number 2 of the night for him. 9 for the Reds.
I'm taking a page out of Giannis's playbook. Staying on that sinker. Drilling it right up the middle.
Billy Hatcher talks things over with him. Always good to see Hatch come back. His wife Karen worked for the Astros when he was a player here. They met and later married. Joey Votto has a homer and a single tonight. Smacks one into center field. Cabrera to second base, and the Reds have 3 hits in the inning. Johnny Gomes coming up next. Big night for Votto. He's been on 4 times in a row. Gomes is 1 for 3 with a walk. He has scored twice. Both clubs are in double figures in the hit column. 11 for Houston, 10 for Cincinnati. The Astros have stranded 8, with the Reds leaving 5 so far. And that's a swing. Strike 1 to Gomes. Cleveland is leading Tampa Bay with a rain delay now in the bottom of the 7th inning. 3-1 at Cleveland. Trevor Crowe hit his second home run. White Sox in Oakland are scoreless after 3 in Oakland. Milwaukee leads Washington 7-5 after 7 in Milwaukee. Big cut there. It's 2 to Johnny Gomes.
The hitters that have had success in this inning are guys who just tried to hit the ball up the middle. And Gomes, he's getting a little greedy. He's trying to hit one to
Hallettsville?
Yeah, Hallettsville.
We found out where that was tonight. Might as well drop it in there again.
I was going to say Conroe, but that's the other direction. I don't want to get that information. It's lost on the way home.
It's tough. Tough coming up to these towns. Got to get it in the right direction and everything. That little guy's a happy camper. I think it was a good article about the balls being caught.
The number of balls that they use in a game.
Yeah, that was
staggering.
It was.
They used a lot. Was it like 19 dozen? Dennis gets ready for a game?
Yeah. There's a bouncer foul.
That's the thing. Over the years, that has changed. They break out brand new baseballs every day for batting practice. Ooh. And then when they use them, they send them down to the minor leagues. And those guys get to use old balls.
But they're not that old.
No.
Compared to probably when you were in the minor leagues, you guys really got the hand-me-downs.
And then you take it back to when you were a kid, right? When you used to take the ball, and we used to use like electricians tape, anything to kind of piece them together to keep them in play.
Yeah.
And the idea that you break out brand new balls for batting practice every day, it's just staggering.
Yeah. Well, back in the very, very early days, as you probably know, of baseball, they played the entire game with one baseball.
The hitters would be whining on that one. Marred up, ball would be cutting this way and that, dark, be impossible to see it.
Yeah. Fly ball to right field, Hunter Pence moving in. And in the ninth inning, it's no runs, 3 hits, 2 men left for the Reds. They lead it 6-4. Bottom of the ninth coming. Bourgeois, Sanchez, and Berkman. Your Texas Ford dealers and the 2010 F-150, and by the Progressive Insurance Group. Been an interesting night of baseball here. Warm and humid outside. Inside, families enjoying the air conditioning, and they'll get fireworks after the game. The Reds built a 4-2 lead, and it was 3-1 at one point as well. Now they go for their best defensive team with Chris Heisey taking over in left field from Johnny Gomes, and the closer Francisco Cordero, a 3-time All-Star, jumps in with the 2-run lead.
Cordero racking up the saves again this year, but really not having a great year. He's failed 6 times, the ERA up around 4, and all the other secondary numbers for closer are not particularly good. Walked 24 guys in 43 innings, 5 home runs. His whip, walks plus hits per innings pitched at 1.49. Pretty high.
He takes over here with a little working room, and it's Michael Bourne pitch hitting for Jason Bourgeois. Baseball 1.
That's why getting at least 1 in that 8th inning would have been huge to put a little more pressure on Cordero. He's got a 6.16 ERA on the road this year. 5 of his 6 blown saves have come on the road.
He was 2 for 3 as a pinch hitter this season. Third baseman Giannis in close. He showed bunt on the previous pitch, that time taking the 95-mile-per-hour heater up, and it's 2-1 to Michael. 252 for Michael, 1 homer, 22 runs batted in. Jason Bourne was 0 for 4. Jason Bourgeois, right?
Got the Jason Bourne.
Jason Bourne, yeah. Morphed the two together. They're together all the time. Now we brought their names together. What is Jason Bourne's next movie going to be?
I don't know.
Sanchez on deck. It's 3-1.
Bourne Enigma.
Yeah. They've got it covered from left and right sides of the plate, that's for sure, in center field. Now 3-2 to Michael.
Freebie there for Cordero. Michael taking all the way, 3 balls and 1 strike. That'll be the case here.
And Cordero comes back for the strikeout on Bourne, 1 out.
If you're traveling this season, you can take the Astros with you. Here's how. Subscribe to MLB.tv. You'll see every Astros game live or on demand on your computer. Share it with MLB.com at Bat 2010. And you've got all kinds of good things going. You can do that with your iPhone, iPod Touch, and iPad. Details, information at Astros.com.
Strike 1 to Sanchez. He singled and scored in the first, walked in the 7th. Berkman on deck. The Astros need a base runner, so Berkman can represent the potential tying run in this game. It's a 1-ball, 1-strike count, and the Reds are a couple of outs away from being only a half game behind the St. Louis Cardinals. All the way, and it's 1-2. The Reds have been residents of first place for many days this season. Just getting to the interesting part. Cordero, 35 years old. Ground ball up the middle and into center field. Sanchez having a nice game again tonight. He's on for the 3rd time, and it's Berkman coming up.
That was awfully impressive right there, because that's a 96-mile-an-hour fastball up above the hand. Very difficult to do anything with that pitch, and he got on top of it, hit it hard on the ground. Staying on top, emphasizing that top hand. Great swing. All right, Puma.
Puma is 0 for 12 in his career against Cordero with 4 walks. Carlos Lee on deck. Ball 1 upstairs.
I think if you're Lance, you've got to be willing to get fooled by an off-speed pitch here. You're going to be thinking about cheating on a fastball, trying to get the head of the bat out in front of one and yanking one. If he throws you a splitter or something and you look silly, it's only 1 strike.
2-0.
Yeah. Now, what does Cordero do?
Reds outfielders are close enough to have conversations with the fans in the seats behind them. Now 3-0.
I believe he's got the green light if he wants it.
Three balls and a strike for Cordero.
You're looking to hit 3-0. You're looking for 1 pitch, and Lance probably would let that ball down a little bit. The one up and in is kind of a little tougher to get to.
Ball 4. 2-man on with 1 out for Carlos Lee.
Cordero finding out the other pitchers have dealt with in this game, and that is a fairly tight strike zone that might win it. Well, this would be a fun way to start the homestand.
Oh, wouldn't it?
Lyle pop one here.
6 career walk-off homers, the last one June 3rd against Washington. He is 4 for 11 against Cordero. They could start the fireworks early. He did that here. They strike one. Cordero's pitched 4 times this year against the Astros. He's given up 1 run, 3 2/3 innings. Another Pence on deck. Back to right center field. Sanchez tagging, Bruce in for the catch and throw to third. It's a strong arm on display. 2 outs. Hunter Pence has had 2 hits off Cordero this year. Now he gets a chance.
Well, he has been the man of the match so far. 4 out of 4. A home run, 3 driven in. Carlos had a good whack at this fastball, just a little bit behind it.
Weapons are on deck. Wouldn't that be something if he did hit it over the fence to win this game? He is 4 for 12 lifetime against Cordero, including a long ball.
Over there in thought, making his way around the batter's box, trying to get inside the head of Cordero and Hannigan. How are they going to try to get me out? Started Carlos with a first pitch slider right on the outside edge.
To center field. Caught by Stubbs. Double hit ball for the final out. And the Reds take the opener of this series. They've won 15 of their last 17 from the Astros. Joey Votto and company put the hits together with 2 in the 8th inning, and they break the tie to win it 6-4.